You made it lock in. Court lights flicker, I'm feeling that tip-off fever. NBA dreams spin tight like a crossover sleeper. Fourth and inches in the cold, crowd breathing like smoke. NFL grit in my voice when the pressure get woke. Engine scream through the night, that F1 razor. Lines cut clean, turn sharp like a hometown savior. NASCAR drift in my blood when the pace gets wild. I talk speed like a veteran, move calm like a smile. Legends born out of sweat, out of heartbreaks echo. I break plays down smooth, call the game like a maestro. Every lane that we touch, every story we show, this is where the truth runs. The Not Bland Show. Fast, race, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch the moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with a champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the Not Bland Show.
Lock in.
You made it, ladies and gentlemen. Then let's lock in to the Not Bland Show. It's going to be a great show tonight. We're going to go and cover some really topics from NASCAR to March Madness to football, a little bit of everything tonight as we, kind of chill this week as it is Easter week, and next week we'll be back to the drag strip, and I will be at the drag strip next week doing my camera operator work. So looking forward to it. Glad you all are locked in to the Not Bland Show. And look, want to thank everybody who does this and supports us. Sports Journey, of course, where we get our stats from, dragracereference.com. And of course, Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. We'll talk a little bit about that, as well as some new stuff is out, and you guys need to make sure that you're participating in that particular bracket as well. When we come back from the break, we'll get started in NASCAR.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Well, some really good NASCAR news, I guess. For Corey LaJoy, he will be moving into that number 10 truck there of, Callings Ram truck there. Daniel Dye is reinstated, but he's not coming back to the team. So he will be taking over that ride for the rest of the season. That is, I guess it's good for him. We've got the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza Pro Stock Major Moments also going on right now. We're in the second stage of this thing, of the Pro Stock bracket. The bracket opened up March 30th, and it will run until April 10th. So you have plenty of time to do those and get those done. And I'll show you mine towards the end of the show here. And it's fun. It's a lot of it. This one was really hard because there's a lot of great pro stock moments. If you're, in your 40s like I am, I remember a lot of stuff from back in the day. So it was kind of hard to really fill this one out. It really was. Want to thank everybody who is here right now. Drag Race Mayhem. We got Mac 1320. Make sure you check out a couple of the new shows that she's got up there on Mac Chats. Good stuff. What's going on, Blake? Appreciate you. Doing great tonight. He had it all and he choked it away. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It really is. It really is. And I'm doing great, Blake. Doing great. Can't complain at all. Well, let's get to the results here in NASCAR. And you look at the Cup Series, Chase Elliott. How about that guy? He came out and at Martinsville he won the first. He won the second stage, I believe. Oh no. Actually, that was not. Denny Hamlin won both stages. I could have sworn I saw something. I was looking at something else then. But Chase Elliott gets the win. Denny Hamlin gets the win both stages and gets the points. But at the end of the day, it was Chase Elliott beating out Denny Hamlin, who came in second. How about how about Denny Hamlin getting and being in the top five there? Uh, this time, this time there was not a 2311 car in the top 10. What a surprise! It's only one race though, but for the whole entire season, we've seen 2311 cars in the top 10 or winning. So not in the top 10, but was in the top 15. Tyler Reddick was at 15 there. Let's see, where was Bubba in 36 there? He went out. So all around, good day for Chase Elliott. Good day for Denny Hamlin. It looks like he's really kind of picking up where he left off last year. A lot of people felt like he should have won the championship last year. He's back fighting at it and fighting for it again. He's had some really good races here early in the season. And, it's kind of surprising that we haven't seen the likes of like a Kyle Larson, um, you know, get himself in there and be a part of getting the W. SVG also another one not getting, consistently in there and doesn't have a win yet. I understand it's an early season, but you know, Tyler Reddick pretty much dominated most of this first part of the season. Bubba dropped like 7 spots in the standings. Yeah, it's bad because his move on Carson absolutely unneeded too. Yeah, there's just sometimes, man, it's just like I wish he would just let cooler heads prevail. You know what I mean? He can get in his feelings a little bit, and it doesn't stack well. You know what I mean? It can cost you big time. You look at the O'Reilly series, and I think it's Justin Angler with the win. Uh, what a day for him! This is the one that Justin Angler won the first stage, so that's what I was thinking about. He won the first stage, came back in. It was Austin Hill who won the second stage. Would have thought he would have been the one that likely would have won, but Justin had a great car and had a great car all day and managed to come away and get that W. So, you know, it's been some great racing in both Cup and the O'Reilly series. I did not think the trucks were not, they were like the 20th, so they did not run. Their last run was in Darlington. So, but a great weekend in NASCAR, both Cup and the O'Reilly series, and looking forward to the next one. It's hard with all this racing going on to catch everything that's going on racing wise. Well, we will switch gears, and March Madness has been incredible, and one thing that I will say is it is very surprising to see that at times you can have teams that don't at all, really you think wouldn't have a chance to win at all. And yet we had Duke take an L, take a big L. And that's what I love about college basketball. That's what makes college basketball, you know, what it is today. And that's what makes it better than, at the end of the day, it makes it better than what we see in the NBA. There's defense being played. Um, you know, it is almost anybody's game. And big shot at the end for UConn to win that thing by 1 point. And you don't see that much in professional basketball. And that's some of the things that I really have enjoyed about this tournament. Some of the just surprises. Didn't see Florida going out as early as they did, and they got beat. I still have Illinois. I think Illinois was one of my picks. I did not, I think I had them losing to Florida, and I still have Michigan in. So my bracket pretty much went to the toilet. I had Florida winning the whole thing, but what a great March Madness we had. Texas and Purdue was a good game. Arizona really in that Elite Eight really walked away from Purdue early, and it in these last Elite Eight, Final Four, defense and perimeter shots matter. And you noticed Alabama was one of those teams that really they lived and died by the three. And if you're not on from the 3 point line, and you're not hitting shots, the other team is taking those shots, getting inside the paint, getting those and ones and getting to the free throw line. That changes the whole dynamic of a game. And if you can't find it from outside the arc because that's your game, and you're not very good inside the paint and in the perimeter, it's a problem. It's going to be a huge problem further and further you get in the tournament. And I think we saw some teams get exposed in that regard. Nebraska let it slip away in their time with Iowa. I thought Iowa did an excellent job in the Sweet 16, but man, did Illinois jump on them and jump on them early. And then they really took it away from them late. I think Michigan is the best team that is still, that's still alive in this thing right now. Your Final Four, you have Arizona, 2-1s, Arizona and Michigan ranked number one, and a 2 and a 3 on the other side of the bracket in UConn and Illinois. I really think that UConn has a really good shot at winning this particular game. It's going to be a very close one, though. I believe both of these teams are pretty well and evenly matched here. When you look at their field goal percentage, UConn 47% from field, 46% for Illinois. You look at the 3-pointers, both at 34%, and they're exact down to the 0.8%. They are dead even there. They are both really good free throw shooters in the 70s, 72 for UConn, 78 for Illinois. And they both rebound. Defensive rebounds are fairly even, averaging 25, 27. Offensive rebounds are even. So this is going to be a game that's going to come down to who is going to be really good from three and turnovers. Turnovers that lead to extra points for the opposing teams. That's where I think this game will be won and lost. I think this comes right down to the end, but I do think UConn takes the win in the Final Four, and that will be played here 4-4. So that is Saturday. Both games will be played on Saturday. You look at Arizona and Michigan. This is another two teams that are evenly matched as well. From the field, both 50% from the field, both 36.6%. Michigan 36.2%, 70% from the field as far as free throws go. Both 42 rebounds per game. Both have evenly offensive and defensive rebounds. Assists, same thing. Steals are very close. Blocks are very close. Turnovers are very close. Both 12.3 for Michigan, 10.8 for Arizona. And this is another game. I think both of these games are going to come down to the final minute. And turnovers will be a factor. Who can get those points off for turnovers and free throws? That is always and forever will be the common or a denominator that can make or break you in games. And we're going to have two good Final Four teams, and whoever may win, I got Michigan here, but whoever may win out of these four teams, we're going to have a great final. We're going to have a great final. A two teams that are evenly matched in the final. Just want go on the record and say I had UConn beating Duke, and UConn that wasn't a bad pick. I'm not a Duke fan, but that wasn't a bad pick. I think in my bracket I had UConn also beating Duke as well. I wasn't, yeah, not a fan of Duke anyway. Really, I think it's a toss up. To be honest, I have my picks. I think it's UConn and Michigan in the final. I think Michigan wins, but I don't think there's a clear cut anything. I think any one of these four teams can be involved in that. Yeah, they did lose by a point, and it comes down to defense, man. Like you can't just leave somebody open to stroke it from three, right? But I mean, it just ain't gonna happen, bro. That you leave somebody that far open, and it's gonna be closed curtains, definitely. So good stuff there from the college basketball scene, and I expect fire. Yes, the ending was fire. The ending of these games will be fire as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this stuff plays out. And look, we'll get into our next set of topics here right after we pay some bills, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit of NFL. Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall will be back fully in Indy, but you can catch all of the good content on their YouTube channels or on the NHRA Fast channels. If you missed any, man, they're all really good. You learn a lot about these guys, that are behind these cars. So cool stuff. NFL and the versus the NFLRA. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have the possibility of something that has not happened since that debacle of 2012 when replacement referees were used and the calls were horrific, piss poor, and that's being very, very nice. The NFL claims that they want the best refs and the best refs to be in the game. Yet it seems that you are trying to strong arm the NFLRA, Referees Association. It's been stated that they had talks, sat down, and the talks broke down. And they are hoping that they can come back to the table. And basically, I took it as concede in some of what the NFL wants from them. They are asking for a little bit more money, and I don't blame them. There's nobody that can come into the NFL on any level, on an entry level, at making $20,000. That's a joke. You know what I mean? Your lowest municipality, you start out at 34, 35,000 a year. And now I would probably say around 37, 38,000 a year. Yeah, 20,000 is not going to cut it. And all of this can be resolved, and we've talked about this at length. But I don't know about you guys, but what person do you know that is exceptional at their job and they work part time at it? I'll wait, because the answer is nobody. People talk about, oh, well, halfway through the season, the calls start to get better. The referees seem to be more, fluid. Of course, because it takes them a few games to get into rhythm. This is something they don't do every day. They don't do it all the time. They're not working on their craft outside of this. First of all, they don't get paid enough to do that. One. Two, you're not indulged in that. They have a day job. And I think the referees having a day job has been a big mistake for this league. And it becomes even more of a bigger mistake for this league when we introduce betting into sports. Because the NFL talks about having the best and wanting to be the best, but yet you guys are setting up to have replacement refs and have already looked at college officials that you'll be looking to train, and you will be beginning that training May 1st. Now, this agreement with the NFL and the NFLRA expires. Their bargaining agreement expires May 31st. So you want the best, but you're already putting into motion that you're going to have replacement refs. You know that this replacement refs deal is so bad that we got an email from the league today about approved 2026 playing rules, bylaws, and results. So it's 4-A and says by the committee, the competition committee, to allow personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifications for both flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. I'm cool with that. But they're also allowing New York, for 1 year, they will be allowing NFL officiating department to correct, clear, and basically handle any mistakes on field that impact the game. In this event, they will be working in the event of this work stoppage that involves having game or replacement referees. Now, they want to have this merit system for referees, and that the refs that do well get paid more. Okay, I have no problem with that. But I do have a problem with you still wanting to have part-time referees in a game that continues to evolve, that is now becoming global because you're going overseas, and you insist on having part-time referees, and you wonder why we have the piss poor calls that we have within the game. We still don't know what a catch is. We still don't know the difference between illegal contact and what pass interference is. I think they're both. I think the two separate rules are absolutely and utterly stupid. Pass interference is pass interference. That's what illegal contact is, right? I don't know. We don't really know what a hold is, and we still haven't figured out what roughing the passer really is. And that's a moving target depending upon what type of quarterback your team has. It works for guys who are stationary. It does not work for people like Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. No, Pat gets the treatment. Pat gets preferential treatment, so doesn't count him. But mobile guys, at some point, the league has to understand that if you want to have quality games and you want to have a quality product, everyone must be locked in at all times. I am a firm believer that in the off season, when it's time for OTAs, there should be OTAs for referees. They should be working and honing in on the craft. They should be able in those OTAs to have conversations with coaches, offensive and defensive coordinators, so that they all come to a clear understanding of what the officiating crews are expecting, and the officiating crews having a clear understanding of what is going on within the confines of the game. Because I think a lot of it has to do with that some of these cats just really don't understand the game. And they think because of something looks bad, it is bad. And I'll go to this. Why can't New York just get calls right that are egregiously wrong to begin with? Because it costs people football games. And when it costs people football games, it usually costs coaches their jobs. And let's not even tiptoe around the fact that there are people that are putting money on these football games, whether they're parlays, whether they're whatever you want. And you're costing people money on bad calls. And we want to put technology in the football to be able to measure without chains whether it's a first down or not. But we're not smart enough to put full-time referees who can work on their craft year in and year out so that we have the best product that we can have and that the game is officiated properly. Because those people have a clear understanding of what their job entails, and they understand that. Look, I call BS on it all. The NFL wants it their way and their way only. And if I'm the NFL RA, I stand up for what I want, and I do not budge. And if that means that they have to have replacement refs, then so be it. Because it really appears to me that there are in the position of that they are sinking their feet in and they don't plan on budging on what it is that they want. Well, it's time for other people to start dictating what they want and stop allowing the big shield to dictate what everybody else should be doing. Because at the end of the day, they're still behind the 8 ball. And I wrote about this officiating crap in 2008, we're still having this problem. Yeah, not a fan. And, get ready, people. Your games might be officiated for the first half of the year by replacement refs. But they want the best referees in the game. Yeah. Hilarious to me. Let's see here. The Pitts podcast says replacement refs are gonna be out there. Like after further review, we're still not sure what just happened. Exactly. We saw it in 2012. It was bad. It was bad. There were a whole lot of mad fans. Said, why can't we just have AI do this? It ain't that smart yet. It might be, but I don't think it's that smart yet. Like the technology is there yet, we still use a ball and chain to detect first downs. They have a chip in it. They did not use it as much last year. The UFL uses a chip all the time to measure for first downs. I don't think that chip was very accurate last year, but I thought it was accurate. I thought the ball placement during those times were piss poor. And that's another thing that I think New York needs to chime in on when it comes down to ball placement. because sometimes those guys don't always see it, and I don't understand how that is. There's a guy standing right on the sideline. That's his job, to look down the line to see where the ball is, and you still can't get it right. You got two people doing that, by the way. Two. Again, part time. But every NFL game, the first thing they show is the Almighty Shield. Exactly. And the Almighty Shield is really getting too big for its britches, in my opinion. The Pitts podcast says it's hard enough being an Eagles fan. Now add replacement refs into the equation. Damn. Yeah. I don't think any team's going to be happy about that. Dave W says, look at what NASCAR did when they got rid of pit road rules. Pit road officials. There is a camera in a box, and it's very black and white. You're in the box or you're not. Penalty. There's a lot of stuff. And that's the reason why that there are struggles within officiating and the inconsistencies. I think there are rules that are in place that are the same rule, just worded differently. And the only thing you're saying is, okay, if I make contact with a receiver after 5 yards, it's illegal contact. But if I obstruct the said player from making a play or having the opportunity to catch the football, it is a pass interference. But they both are. Just get rid of the 5 yard contact. The 5 yard contact was created because it was a ploy to allow offenses to have a easier time for separation, because the game before 2005, there was, the defense had an opportunity, the cornerback had an opportunity. They both had the ability to fight for space. You just couldn't hit the guy early or pull his arms down or pull his jersey to interfere with him being able to catch the ball. And I think that aspect of the game, it makes it difficult on corners, because unless you are playing a press corner, it's hard to play off of a guy 5 yards, because right then he's getting a free release. You can't bump or change his trajectory. You can use your hand, but you cannot be forceful. And it's hard to play off. Being a press corner, especially if you're a corner that really doesn't have that speed and you kind of need that buffer, it's difficult because rules are tailored to the offense. It really is. And it makes it difficult. It has become an offensive league. But I do think as we get further and further down, I think you're seeing that what they're doing to combat, and defenses are doing to combat that, you find a lot of corners that are just as tall as receivers. They're just as fast. So because you can't really slow a guy down unless you are in press coverage, at least you can match speed for speed and body for body. So now you have guys with the same type of wingspan, same height that you use to play corner and safety that can kind of battle with those tall, lanky wide receivers and those guys that have 4.3 speed. You got to combat it with 4.3 speed. So that's why I think we've seen defenses start to come around a little bit. Drag Race Mayhem says MLB has already exposed umps with the ABS system. It just shows AI can do it better. Programmed correctly, I think so. I think football be a little bit difficult. I think there's some things that they definitely could use it for. I think football, when it comes down to player-on-player penalties like holding, pass interference, illegal contact, it probably could be. I don't know if you could even use it really for what they call a hit on a defenseless receiver. Um, but there are probably some things you could use it for. So, um, yeah, really interested in seeing how all this nonsense plays out. But we got the NFL draft coming up this month, and it is official. It will be official tomorrow that Disney and ESPN will now be uh, have ownership of the NFL network, and they all will be absorbed, and the NFL media will be absorbed into Disney and ESPN. Now, those folks from NFL Network, they really only have a month worth of employment. Their contracts are up in May, and reports are some of these folks will not be retained. And I say some, it is more likely the majority. There will be very few that will be retained from the NFL Network side. So it is going to be interesting in May to see all the new lineup roll out here. But until then, the draft will still be on NFL Network. I believe they're having another college game days. They're also going to do their side. And to be honest with you, I'm probably more interested in the college game day side of the broadcast than the actual draft broadcast. And I say this because if you don't know these players that your team is getting, that is probably the best place that you can have, because those guys that are sitting on that panel have been covering these guys, a lot of them from the start of their career in college. So you're going to get a real good bird's eye view into who they are and what they are coming to your football team. So I would look out for that. I think it's going to be on ABC. I'm an NFL Network guy. I do not watch the ESPN broadcast. I am not a Mel Kiper Jr. fan at all. Although I'm not a Daniel Jeremiah fan either. So, but I like the NFL Network side of it. I only watch one round though, maybe two. After that, it just gets boring. You know what I mean? There's only so much of that you can watch. It's too long. Like they need to shorten the time. Like if you don't have your draft board together, that's nobody's fault but your own. Like I don't want to sit here all night long and drag through it. First round is always fun to see where guys fall, but outside of that, yeah, no, not interested. Not interested. Um, but we'll see. It's going to be fun. Season will really start to get going um, after the draft. So we'll be looking forward to all of that there. Look, I will go ahead and I will get my drag race bracket bonanza pro stock bracket up and I will show it to you. And this one was tough. This one was really tough. There was a lot of repeat stuff in there. I get it, but it was tough. There are a lot of moments that you could have used or could have done. I thought the other one before that, the top fuel one it was a little easier, but I could see, like I said, everybody has a different viewpoint of it, especially when it comes down to you know um, what time period that you watch the sport in. So I've got at my ending is Greg Anderson's earns his thousandth round win. I could have gone either way. I had Bob Glennon and the finalist at every event in that Final Four, uh, and Bob Glennon also on the opposite side, Auto Club Finals 11th time. Could have gone either way with that. I thought the thousandth win by Greg Anderson was a little bit bigger of a deal than Erica Ender's first female pro stock world championship. And the only reason why I say that is because I don't I don't view women in the sport now as something new. Like we've been doing this. So it's kind of expected. And I could have gone that way, but I didn't. Doesn't make the moment any less, but that's my choice. Lot of different moments in there. A lot of different moments in there, and yeah, but a lot of different moments in there, and it's hard. It is hard. There are some really tough choices in here because there's so many great moments from guys like Lee Shepard, Roddy Socks, Daryl Alderman moments. That the burn down, two burn downs, I think, in here. The one with Bruno and and McGahey, that was good. So yeah, he said, "I'm a freak. I watch every pick." I just can't, man. It's tough. Another dream of mine someday to come with shows. No, no, it's not. Whatever your dream is your dream. It says, I did mine yesterday. I got Greg Anderson, thousandth win. Winning, only been two of those. Yeah, you're right. Right. We did. Yeah, I that's just that was my thing. But I could not, I could not pick that one. Have a show and explain why I'm wrong. Sure, we can do that. I don't think this one was tough for me. There are probably, if this was something that had to go final, which has to go final, doesn't have to go final until the 10th. There's a lot of changes that I could make in this one, but that was my initial thought at that particular time, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. So it is what it is. He said, I tend to pick those items that progress the class rather than a driver's personal best. I understand that one because that's some of my thought process into all of that as well. So, yeah, I get that. I get that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this out of the way because this is ugly.
Let me talk to you.
So here we are, coming down the stretch of what will be in 2 weeks, WrestleMania. And week after week after week, the WWE continues to fumble the bag. Last night's Raw, I think it hit a new low. Why are we changing the tag team titles from the Usos to the Vision? The Vision that's been getting their keisters kicked for weeks, for months. Two guys can't stay healthy in the thing. Wait. We think that Logan Paul is box office, and that's going to help sell tickets. They took the title off of Mello the week before. For what? To give it to Sami Zayn? Why? For what? And the sad part about it is you dumb WWE fans cheered that nonsense. They've got people watching AEW. They're paying people to do this, and yet these folks are watching and they still can't cook a dish in the kitchen. Every week for the past 2 months, they have been doing nothing but throwing matches together. The best part of the show is in the beginning. We sit back before the show comes on, me and my wife, and I ask her, who do you think is going to come out tonight? Because usually it's the same people. This time it was Cody. Great segment. I thought Stephanie coming out, first of all, I'm like, why? And thought it was two great promos, great, and I understood it, made sense. And then it all went downhill from there. Meaningless match after meaningless match. And this open challenge stuff, it's a cop-out because they can't come up with storylines for guys like Penta, and they couldn't come up with storylines for an individual like Carmella Hayes. That's what it all boils down to. Because you know what? This open challenge is absolutely and utterly tired. It is worn out. Old news does nothing for me. I could really care less. And doing it really just diminishes the titles that people like The Miz have put up and made right up there with the WWE heavyweight and undisputed titles. I can see why Road Dogg left. Because you clowns that are sitting in this daggone meeting room thinking that you're coming up with great content and stories, bro, y'all pissing down y'all leg every week. And then SmackDown last Friday was basically Raw-like. Absolutely and utterly trash. And the end of the daggone thing between Cody and Randy, that's just way too much, bro. We got 50 guys out there to stop two dudes, and yet they keep breaking away like one time, two times, but y'all let that crap go for like 6 or 7 minutes because you had nothing left to give the audience for the show. That was your ending right there. It was too much. It was outlandish. It was trash. Complete and utter dog-ish. But yet, because I have to talk about this nonsense, I have to subject myself to this crap. And oh, are you guys excited? John Cena, he's going to be the host of WrestleMania. Boy, y'all running out of stuff, bro. You can't bring anybody back. You can't bring Cena back because he's not coming back. So you run out of that to try to boost ticket sales. Then you people who pay $10,000 to get on a bus with Cody to get a tour of Vegas, you are the problem. $10,000. And ladies and gentlemen, it is sold out. It's sold out immediately. Now, my thought process is this can't be really wrestling fans because, you know, these tickets have gotten to be like Super Bowl prices. They've priced the average fan out of it. So maybe it's just celebrity people. But if it really is folks that aren't of the 1%, again, stupid. See, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you sell your soul to the devil. TKO is all about money. And guess what? So is the 3-letter wrestling promotion known as WWE. They don't care about you. They don't care about the product. All they care about is the bottom line. And it shows. This is about the most ignorant, weak, thoughtless lead up to a predictable WrestleMania that I've ever seen. And it's been bad. We have had times when it has been bad. So bad that I just completely stopped watching. But this is an all new low. Not only do you not give a crap about the product, You've brought people onto the roster that you say that are potential stars that over the last, since September, have regressed. Jade, if I have to hear Tiffy time one more time, Lyra, and I don't blame her 100%. A lot of it is on you and how you book these people. And most of you WWE fans don't even know who Danhausen is. But yet you're walking around saying, you are cursed. You don't know what that is. You've never seen his character unless you watch AEW. And I'm going to tell you, there's a very small percentage of you WWE fans that watch AEW and knew what that was. This has become an absolute S show. I don't know what to tell you, but don't expect anything great. Don't expect anything great for WrestleMania. It's going to be predictable. I can pretty much, we are going to have a show. We are going to have a show with the exclusive podcast boys, and we're going to give our picks, but I'm telling you, I all these main events, I can tell you who's going to win. It is very obvious. And that nonsense last night between CM Punk and Roman, I'm tired of y'all bringing them out. We doing this every week we got 2 more weeks, and we going to keep, I don't want to see none of these jabronis that are in the main event ever again. I don't need to see them. That nonsense between Oba and the Beast, Brock Lesnar, I don't want to see that again either. How many times are we going to do that? We have nothing. Welcome to the new WWE. And please, get off my lawn if you're crying and complaining about AEW. Because right now, they're the best thing going. They're so good that WWE is paying people to watch them. Again, but yet they still can't cook a dish in their kitchen. Boy. Man. Anyway, let's see what y'all got going in the comments before we get up out of here. Let's see. Okay. Pitts Podcast says, but they have... Yeah. Look, man. One time, but you got Jelly Roll on a show? Bro. And that nonsense... Toxic masculinity. Give me a break. I stick with the Cargill Ripley prediction I give you 2 weeks ago. Yes. Yes. Let me see if I can find that, because his thought process on that deal, I thought, was a great story and would be a great storyline for this whole thing. I think you sent it to me. I think you sent it to me in audio. But it that would be perfect. But that makes too much sense, Memphis Lonnie. Too much sense. How does one screw up a scripted fight? Can they not just hire the best story writers? No, they can't. No, they can't. I don't see how ESPN is even remotely okay with this nonsense, because they were griping about it before. Yeah. Sorry, but had to go there. It is, unless you're a wrestling fan, you have no idea. Although you should probably try to watch. Not WWE, though. I don't know. It's hard. WWE is for people who may not really know wrestling, because I think my wife has a hard time watching AEW because it's It is more about the wrestling. It's kind of scaled down a little bit. It's more raw, and AEW, WWE is about the production. Like it's more about the production than what's going on in the ring. You know what I mean? The camera shots, the pyro, all that good stuff. All the backstage clowning, like, the Pits podcast says that they keep it up, and I'm gonna just rewatch WrestleMania 17 that day and skip this year's. Look, dude, it's crazy to me. It does, doesn't it? It really does. It is wild to me. We were talking about this on the Power Hour too. Like, it's just things just seem so similar, and it seems like every time NHRA pulls something out of the hat, the IHRA does something big and completely smothers that news that the NHRA brings out. So, I don't know, guys. Got another week of that nonsense, and we'll be in WrestleMania form. We will be back to drag racing in Pomona. I forget when. Maybe, Dave, when's the next IHRA race? We'll be in Pomona. I'm really looking forward. We had Will Smith on the Power Hour, and I really am looking forward to seeing them make progress. They really made some good progress this past weekend, and I think we're going to see things start to be put together here come into Pomona. So Lonnie's prediction is Cargill and Ripley, have a good match, but just like last year, Ripley's friend Io Sky turns on her, causes Cargill to win the match and keep her title. Ripley get screwed again by best friend. Yes, that is a good story, but the problem is Jade is just not good enough, and they don't believe in her. It's very clear, but a lot of it is their fault because she walked around with a title for months and defended it twice or three times in meaningless matches. And you know that your days are numbered when they team you up with Meechin and B-Fab. You know it's over, bro. That is not a faction. That's a welcome to the island of irrelevancy. You're done at WrestleMania. And the only reason why they're not going to take that title off of her is because people are behind what she does. But they took the title off of other folks before WrestleMania, which, like I said, I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense at all. We're just throwing stuff against the wall and hoping that it sticks. And ain't none of it sticking. Maybe with some of these folks, but not with me. Well, according to AJ on Twitter, IHRA apparently isn't paying some people. That is true. That is true. No lies told there. But, I'm sure both have shady sides to them. No pun intended. It's always something. Always something. Yeah, I can do a couple more minutes. Man, I wanted to bring out before I got out of here, and I saw that from my camera guy, a photographer, Fred Warner. He said Destiny Spurlock was in ARCA this past week. First black female in ARCA. And we reached out to her team a week ago. And no response. So I'm just going to have to contact her again and let her know that her team is not answering emails. So but we wanted to have her on before the ARCA race to talk about it. Been working that. So we will be working and looking to see what we will do next week. Not really sure what we're going to do next week, but we'll do something we always do. I will be getting ready for Shady Side as Sega starts next week. So I will be kind of doing what I do with football. And when you can't watch every game, I'll be going back and watching a lot of this stuff. Probably will catch Sunday. I usually do. It depends on whether I decide to drive back the same day on Saturday or not. But I usually have it on while I'm driving anyway, back home if I do stay overnight and decide to drive back on Sunday. So we'll likely miss a lot of qualifying because I will be doing paid work. So, but we'll get caught up and we'll be able to talk a little bit about that as we get going. So, but good stuff all around that's going on in the sports world. Like I said, get locked into this weekend. You got the final four that is going to be played this weekend. We'll start talking a little bit more about NBA when we get close to the playoffs. I do a little bit, but not a lot, because the product just isn't that great. All of my Lakers are doing pretty good, and they are a team that has been playing pretty decent defense as of late. But yeah, man, it's hard to get into when I see teams scoring 120 to 128 point win. Like, nobody's playing defense, and you can't convince me that people are. You know what I mean? It's no different. You have a little bit of defense, because we know what happens when you play no defense. Just look at the All-Star game. You get almost 200 points. We're just watching guys take shots. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show. And I want to thank you guys so much for the participation. And we just walking along. Affiliate VTRN Sports, powered by ESPN. You can find all of the audio versions there or any of your podcasting networks. Until next Tuesday. Good night, everybody.
I'm feeling that tip-off fever. NBA dreams spin tight like a crossover sleeper. 4th inches in the cold. Crowd breathing like smoke. NFL grit in my voice when the pressure gets woke. Engine scream through the night. That F1 razor lines cut clean, turn sharp like a hometown savior. NASCAR drift in my blood when the pace get wild. I talk speed like a veteran, move calm like a smile. Legends born out of sweat, out of heartbreaks echo. I break plays down smooth, call the game like a maestro. Every lane that we touch, every story we show, this is where the truth runs, the not blame show. Fast lanes, fast breaks, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch a moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with a champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the not blame show. Fast lanes, fast breaks, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch a moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with a champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the not blame show.